Do you ever feel like life is fighting against you, like every step forward takes double the effort? What if the reason is not the world, but your own thoughts? Norman Vincent Peale believed that what you think about yourself and what you expect from life quietly shapes everything that happens to you. This is not magic, it is mindset, and once you learn how to control it, everything begins to shift. The power of positive thinking is not about pretending everything is fine. It is about building a faith-driven attitude that keeps you calm, confident, and unshakable even in chaos. Peale teaches that your thoughts are energy, and when directed with belief, they can heal, attract success, and build the kind of peace you thought was impossible. Stay till the end of this summary, because by the time we finish, you will understand how to use the same mental and spiritual tools that have transformed millions of lives around the world. Before we begin, subscribe if you believe success should start with inner transformation, not outer imitation, because this journey is not about changing others, it is about changing you. Chapter 1. Believe in yourself. Have you ever noticed that some people move through life with quiet confidence, while others doubt every step they take? The difference is not luck, education, or background. It is belief. Norman Vincent Peale begins with a truth that sounds simple but changes everything. If you believe in yourself, you start unlocking the hidden power that has been waiting inside you all along. He says most people live below their potential because they constantly whisper to themselves, "I cannot," and the mind believes it. But when you begin to say, "I can," the mind believes that too, and your life slowly starts to match your belief. Peale shares stories of ordinary people who transformed their lives just by changing their inner dialogue. A businessman who stopped saying, "I am unlucky," and started saying, "I am capable of great success," began to see opportunities where he once saw obstacles. A student who feared failure repeated verses of faith until her mind began to calm and her results changed. Belief, Peale explains, is not arrogance. It is acceptance of your God-given ability. The moment you see yourself as capable, life begins to respond to that confidence. He teaches a simple formula to build belief: cancel every negative thought the moment it appears. Repeat strong affirmations daily. Imagine yourself succeeding before you even start. The human mind becomes what it constantly tells itself. But belief alone is not enough to keep your strength and focus alive. You need something even deeper, a peaceful mind. And that is exactly what the next chapter will show you. Chapter 2. A peaceful mind generates power. You cannot think clearly when your mind is full of noise. You cannot create when your heart is full of fear. Peale says most people live like a shaking bottle filled with tension, anger, and stress, wondering why they feel weak and exhausted. But the truth is, peace is power, and those who learn to quiet their inner world can handle anything in the outer one. This chapter teaches that power grows when peace enters. Peale explains that energy, clarity, and confidence all come from inner stillness. When you are calm, you can see solutions. When you are angry or afraid, your mind closes and creativity disappears. He gives practical ways to build peace. Start your day in silence instead of scrolling or rushing. Spend a few minutes in prayer or deep breathing. Let go of grudges and forgive quickly. Fill your surroundings with calm sounds and uplifting thoughts. Peale writes that peace is not the absence of problems. It is the ability to face them without losing yourself. When the mind is quiet, your natural strength starts to rise. Once you build peace, something magical happens. You begin to feel energy flowing through you again. The next chapter reveals how to keep that energy alive every single day, no matter how busy or tired you are. Chapter 3. How to have constant energy. Have you ever felt drained for no reason? You sleep, you eat well, but still feel tired. Peale says this happens because most exhaustion is not physical, it is mental. The thoughts you carry decide how much strength you have left. Negative thoughts act like a slow poison. Every worry, every fear, every piece of anger quietly drains your energy. On the other hand, positive emotions, gratitude, faith, and love refill your body and spirit with life. Peale shares that true energy comes from purpose and faith. When you live with meaning, your mind wakes up with enthusiasm. When you trust that things will work out, your body releases tension. He tells the story of a man who felt constantly tired until he began ending each night with a short prayer of thanks. Within weeks, he said he felt as if a new current of strength was flowing through him. Peale suggests a few practices to maintain energy. Keep your thoughts clean and hopeful. Avoid complaining or gossiping, as both drain your inner strength. Speak words of encouragement to yourself and others. Energy, he says, is a mirror of your attitude. When your thoughts are positive, your life force renews itself. But even with energy, life can still throw heavy storms your way. So where do you find power when human strength runs out? In the next chapter, Peale reveals the ultimate source, the power of prayer. Chapter 4. Try prayer power. There comes a point when human strength reaches its limit. You have done everything you can, yet the problem still stands. This is where most people give up, but Peale says this is where real power begins, through prayer. Peale explains that prayer is not about asking for miracles. It is about opening a channel between your mind and the higher source of strength that created you. When you pray, you are not escaping life. You are recharging for it. He describes prayer as a direct conversation that brings peace, clarity, and confidence. The act of praying trains your mind to focus on faith instead of fear. Many people, he says, live without power simply because they never take time to connect with it. Peale shares real examples of people who began praying daily and experienced surprising calm, better health, and clear direction. He insists that you do not need fancy words or rituals, just sincerity. Even a simple line like, "Help me trust that things will work out," said with faith, can shift your entire mood. Prayer power works because it changes the person who prays. It fills you with calm determination that transforms situations around you. Once you understand prayer, something beautiful happens. Happiness begins to return. And the next chapter explains how to create your own happiness, no matter what life gives you. Chapter 5. How to create your own happiness. Everyone wants happiness, yet so few ever find it. Most people wait for it to appear, thinking it depends on money, people, or luck. But Peale says happiness is not found, it is made from within. This chapter reveals a deep truth. Happiness is a habit. It grows when you feed it, and it fades when you ignore it. Peale explains that unhappy people are usually those who have trained their minds to focus on what is missing, rather than what is working. He suggests building happiness through simple, consistent acts. Start your day with gratitude. Speak kindly to others. Smile even when you do not feel like it, because the body leads the mind. He also says that unhappiness often grows from selfishness. The more you give, the more you feel alive. Peale's happiest people are not those with perfect lives, but those who find meaning in serving, loving, and forgiving. Happiness, he says, is not a result. It is a decision renewed daily. But sometimes, even when you choose happiness, frustration still sneaks in. So how do you stop yourself from fuming and fretting when life tests your patience? That is exactly what the next chapter uncovers. Chapter 6. Stop fuming and fretting. We all know that moment when a small problem grows into a storm in our head. The anger builds, the body tenses, and peace disappears. Peale calls this fuming and fretting, and he says it silently destroys health, relationships, and energy. This chapter teaches the importance of emotional control. Peale reminds readers that constant irritation drains both the mind and body. He offers a practical exercise. Every time you feel angry or restless, stop, take a breath, and quietly say, "Peace, be still." Those 3 words reset your emotions and break the spiral of negativity. Peale also encourages forgiveness, not as kindness to others, but as protection for yourself. When you let go of resentment, your mind becomes lighter and life starts to flow again. The key, he says, is to react slower. Think before speaking, smile when you want to shout. This small pause saves enormous energy and restores inner control. When you stop fuming and learn patience, life begins to reward you. Because the next step to real success is expecting good things and believing they will happen. Chapter 7. Expect the best and get it. What you expect is often what you receive. Peale says life has a strange way of matching our inner beliefs. If you constantly expect trouble, you attract it. But if you expect the best, the mind and circumstances align to make it possible. This chapter is about the law of expectation. Peale explains that people who expect success act differently. They walk with purpose, speak with confidence, and see opportunities faster than those trapped in doubt. He encourages a daily habit. Before any challenge, quietly affirm, something good is about to happen. This single thought shifts your energy and draws positive outcomes. The more you expect good, the more your brain notices paths that lead to it. Peale is not saying life will always be perfect, but your expectation decides how you handle imperfection. Those who expect good manage problems calmly and eventually turn them into blessings. But what happens when defeat comes anyway? When you try, fail, and feel crushed? Peale faces that question head-on in the next chapter, I Do Not Believe in Defeat. Chapter 8. I do not believe in defeat. Failure is something everyone faces, but Peale says defeat is a choice. He makes a bold statement. You are never defeated unless you accept defeat as final. Peale shares that setbacks are natural and necessary. They are life's way of testing your faith and preparing you for bigger victories. The real difference between winners and quitters is how they interpret failure. He tells stories of people who lost everything but refused to let defeat enter their minds. Their persistence, fueled by faith, turned failure into opportunity to overcome defeat. Peale suggests 3 steps. Stop repeating the story of failure in your mind. Replace the thought I am finished with I am learning. Pray for renewed strength and direction. He reminds us that every time you rise again, you build spiritual muscle. Defeat only exists when you stop trying. Faith keeps you standing until life shifts in your favor again. Even with faith, one enemy often sneaks back: worry. The next chapter reveals how to break the habit of worry once and for all. Chapter 9. How to break the worry habit. Most people spend hours every day worrying about what might happen tomorrow or regretting what happened yesterday. Peale says worry is a silent thief that steals your peace, energy, and happiness. Breaking the worry habit begins with awareness. First, recognize that worrying does not solve anything. It only drains your mind and body. Peale teaches a 3-step method. Stop worrying the moment you notice it. Say to yourself, I will think about this later when I have clarity. Replace every worry with constructive action or positive thought. Even a small step forward can replace fear with hope. Pray or meditate to calm your mind and surrender what you cannot control. Peale also emphasizes focusing on solutions, not problems. When your attention is on action instead of fear, worry loses its grip. He shares stories of people who completely changed their lives by practicing this consistently. Worry can cripple a life, but positive thinking can repair it. Once you learn to stop fretting, the next challenge is learning to solve your problems confidently. That is what Chapter 10 is about. Chapter 10. Power to solve personal problems. Life throws obstacles at everyone. Bills, relationships, health challenges, career setbacks. Problems are unavoidable. But Peale says the real difference is how we approach them. Peale teaches that every problem has a solution if you approach it with faith, calm, and clear thinking. Panic and anger only cloud judgment. He recommends a simple strategy. Pray for guidance to see the path clearly. List your options calmly, act decisively on the best solution. He also shares examples of people who faced crises but solved them by refusing to panic. Each successful resolution came from controlling emotions, focusing on facts, and trusting higher guidance. The chapter shows that faith and practical action work hand in hand. You cannot wait for miracles without effort, but when effort is combined with faith, solutions emerge even from difficult situations. Confidence in problem solving prepares you for challenges in health and well-being. Chapter 11 reveals how to use faith as a tool for healing and vitality. Chapter 11, how to use faith in healing. Health problems often cause fear, stress, and loss of hope. Peale says faith is not just spiritual, it is a practical tool for healing the mind and body. He explains that the mind affects the body more than most people realize. Anxiety, despair, and hopelessness weaken immunity and energy. Faith, on the other hand, brings peace that restores strength. Peale shares real stories of people who overcame illness or chronic conditions simply by believing they could improve and visualizing recovery while keeping a positive, peaceful mind. He stresses that this does not replace medical care, but it enhances it dramatically. The power of faith, combined with disciplined thought and prayer, can lead to measurable improvements in health. People who trust in recovery act more positively, take better care of themselves, and attract support and guidance from unexpected sources. Faith restores the mind and spirit, but what happens when your body is still tired and energy sags? Peale has a simple health formula that restores vitality, and it is revealed in the next chapter, Chapter 12. When vitality sags, try this health formula. Even the most positive and faithful person can feel exhausted at times. Life can drain energy physically, mentally, and spiritually. Peale says there is a formula to regain strength that works naturally. The chapter teaches that vitality is a combination of thought, faith, and action. Peale suggests resting and relaxing the body daily to allow mental and spiritual recharge, eating and caring for your body as a temple of energy, filling your mind with constructive and positive thoughts to create inner energy, using visualization and affirmations to reinforce vitality. He shares examples of individuals who felt weak or ill but recovered energy by integrating faith, positive thinking, and healthy habits. Vitality, Peale explains, is not just physical strength. It is mental clarity, emotional calm, and spiritual balance working together. When your mind and body are revitalized, it opens the door for transformation at a deeper level. The next chapter explains how the inflow of new thoughts can remake you completely. Chapter 13. Inflow of new thoughts can remake you. Have you ever felt stuck in old habits, old worries, or old ways of thinking? Peale says your mind is like fertile soil. New thoughts can completely transform the life you live. This chapter emphasizes the importance of constantly feeding your mind with positive, uplifting, and creative ideas. Old, negative patterns only reproduce themselves. New, positive thoughts gradually reshape behavior, attitude, and results. Peale encourages reading inspiring material every day, surrounding yourself with uplifting people, replacing every pessimistic thought with a constructive one. He explains that repeated exposure to new, positive ideas rewires the mind. Eventually, your thoughts no longer drift into fear or doubt. Instead, they naturally create courage, energy, and hope. When your mind is constantly renewed with positive thoughts, you unlock power you never knew you had. The next chapter shows how relaxation can make that power easier to access and use. Chapter 14. Relax for easy power. Life can feel overwhelming. Deadlines, responsibilities, and constant stress weigh heavily on the mind. Peale says that one of the most overlooked tools for success is relaxation. Relaxation is not laziness. It is a deliberate mental and physical practice that restores energy, sharpens focus, and enhances creativity. Peale teaches that tension blocks the flow of ideas and solutions. When you release stress, your mind functions at its highest capacity. He suggests techniques such as deep breathing, quiet reflection, and short breaks throughout the day. Even a few minutes of conscious relaxation can reset your brain, improve decision-making, and boost productivity. Peale also emphasizes the connection between relaxation and faith. When you calm your mind and trust in a higher power, obstacles seem smaller and solutions appear clearer. Once you master relaxation, you can channel your positive energy into relationships. The next chapter reveals how to make people like you naturally and genuinely. Chapter 15: How to get people to like you. Success is not just about thoughts and faith. How you connect with others shapes your personal and professional life. Peale says the key to building lasting relationships is simple: make others feel valued. This chapter teaches practical ways to attract people with warmth and authenticity. Peale emphasizes listening more than talking, showing genuine interest and offering encouragement freely. He shares that smiling, remembering names, and showing appreciation can transform interactions. People respond to kindness and confidence. Positive thinking influences not only your mood but your social presence. Peale also notes that relationships are easier when your own mind is positive and relaxed. Negativity, impatience, and criticism push people away, while faith and encouragement draw them closer. Even when relationships are strong, life can bring heartbreak. Chapter 16 explains a prescription for overcoming heartache and moving forward with hope. Chapter 16: Prescription for Heartache. Heartache, loss, and disappointment are inevitable. Peale says most people get stuck in sorrow and let it destroy their energy and faith. The chapter teaches that recovery begins in the mind. Instead of dwelling on the pain, redirect your thoughts to constructive action, gratitude, and spiritual trust. Peale advises forgiving others and yourself, focusing on what you can control, and maintaining daily practices of prayer and affirmation. These simple steps restore emotional balance and open the door for new joy. He shares stories of people who faced profound loss but rebuilt their lives by trusting in a higher power and maintaining positive thoughts. Heartache, Peale emphasizes, is temporary if you do not let it define you. Once heartache is managed, your life can tap into a source of power far beyond your ordinary thoughts. Chapter 17 reveals how to draw upon that higher power to transform your life completely. Chapter 17: How to draw upon that higher power there is, a force greater than human will. Peale calls it the higher power, and it is available to everyone. The challenge is learning how to access it consistently. This chapter explains that faith in a higher power amplifies every other principle in the book. Positive thinking, peace, energy, problem solving, and healing all work better when connected to this source. Peale describes practical ways to draw upon it through prayer, meditation, reflection, and daily affirmations. Trusting in a higher power does not remove responsibility, but it provides clarity, courage, and guidance in every decision. He shares inspiring stories of individuals who faced impossible challenges and overcame them by combining personal effort with faith. Their minds were calm, their energy renewed, and their hearts filled with confidence that they could meet any obstacle. When you integrate belief, peace, energy, prayer, positive action, relationships, and higher faith, you create a life that is resilient, joyful, and full of opportunity. The next step is understanding the overall lessons and how to apply them in your daily life. Final thoughts. The power of positive thinking is more than a book. It is a roadmap for transforming your mind, your energy, and your life. Norman Vincent Peale shows that happiness, health, and success are not accidents. They are the result of disciplined thought, faith, and consistent action. By believing in yourself, calming your mind, maintaining energy, practicing prayer, focusing on solutions, and surrounding yourself with positivity, you can turn obstacles into opportunities. Your thoughts are not passive, they are creative forces shaping every part of your life. The ultimate lesson is simple: your mind can remake your world. It is up to you to feed it with faith, hope, and positive thinking every single day. Start small, choose one principle today, apply it, and notice how life begins to shift. Remember, positive thinking is not magic. It is a practical, everyday approach that anyone can adopt, and it works consistently for those who persist. Your next step is to make these principles part of your daily routine and watch your life transform thought by thought. If you like the video, then please like, share, and tell me in comments about your thoughts after watching this video. Also, please hit the subscribe button